So question, how long have you guys actually known each other?
How long have we known each other? It's been almost 13 years at this point.
Ooh, okay.
No, I'm not. I met her when I was just born.
So just like me and Adil.
Yeah.
Very similar dynamic.
Which was 20 years ago?
Yes.
22 years ago? 23? I'm just saying.
Almost.
You know, it's unbelievable because every year people ask us, they're like, how long you guys been together? And then we say it and we lie because the years are going by so fast.
Yeah.
Like 10 years. What? 13?
Huh? What?
All right.
But it's nice. You should appreciate that long term. You don't have those relationships with people any longer. Like I can't think of many friends that I've known for more than 10 years.
Well, what's interesting is it's funny. People always ask us about like our friendship and our business partnership. They're like, how are you guys best friends and business partners? And I always say we were business partners first. We were in business together. And then we created the friendship, which is very...
It's not how it usually works.
That's not usually how it goes. And I feel like that's a testament to how strong our relationship is, that we can still be best friends and business partners because business is hard, honestly.
But you know how we became friends?
How about I launch the podcast first? And then we can have this
This is a
discussion.
good one.
All right.
This is a good one.
See, I can tell just from the look in your face, like, okay, this is a great story, actually.
This is going to be a great story. What are you talking about? Hey, welcome back to Kabsa. It's your boy Adil. What's happening? What's popping? Episode 199. I got the homie champs right behind me.
Hey.
And today we got two special guests. We got Gwen and we got Dara. We're going to get into the idea of what the hell's going on over here. By the way, we said we were not going to record an episode, but like this came out of the blue. Again, this is friends having a conversation. And so while you are listening to this, we're actually in AlUla right now. Enjoying Alicia Keys and partying somewhere. And also we got Jasmine Bagger in the room somewhere over here. Taking notes. We got Dave Metaverse somewhere around here also. And we got the one and only Newell right here.
In the studio.
And there's someone that we're not going to mention. We don't give a shit about him. He's also in this room. We don't care for him. He doesn't exist to us. And it's not number one. Number one is somewhere else. Turks and number one couldn't be here because
We don't care.
no one cares.
Yeah.
Anyway. So what's happening? What's going on? Yeah. How'd you guys become friends? Give me the story.
Okay, so she got recommended to work with me. And I said, listen, I need a social media person. I don't know what I'm doing. I think that social media might be a thing, but maybe not. I don't really know what these people are going to do because no one's ever going to shop online. So I don't really know what the thing is. But I'll pay you.
Wow. Okay. That's a strong opinion.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also that shows you how long ago that was.
Yes.
Yeah. Hashtag
online
Dynasty
shopping.
Stamp. Check. So she goes, anyway, I said, you'll come in, you'll do this. I'll teach you a little bit about PR. Even though she had some experience, you'll do social media. It'll all work out. Fast forward, I put her on the worst account ever. Okay. It was called Broccoli Wad, right? And it was a rubber band with a purple rubber band that's on broccoli that this guy was selling.
Why?
Okay.
What's
An old
going on?
school
Well, you know what?
mafia
At that
guy.
time, he paid us $5,000 a month. He had a jingle. It was on, as seen on TV commercial. One of the guys from Sopranos was on it, and there was a whole jingle. And I said, Dara, have I got an account for you?
And I came from like a luxury background, a luxury buying background with, jewelry and high-end fashion. And she has me pitching a broccoli wad for like $3.99 as seen on TV, made by the guy that invented the ab roller. I was like, what do you have?
Oh, wow.
I mean, this man sounds like a genius. He's making
But
products
that's
left and
actually
right.
not how we became friends.
Yeah.
That's not the story.
Go ahead.
The story was, I get a text message. We'd been working together, I think like 2 months at that point. I get a text message on my phone and she goes, do you want to come to Mike Tyson's wedding with me?
Oh, yeah, that's Gwen.
I looked
That's
at my
Gwen.
phone. I'm like, am I being punked? Like, so the person I
Is this
was
a
like,
joke?
is this a joke? Like, what? And so I called her. I'm like, did you just actually invite me to Mike Tyson's wedding? And she goes, yeah. So I was like, yeah, fuck it. Okay. Like,
why
I
not?
know. I'm like, why not? So we went, and that's really how we became
Yeah,
friends.
I
Like,
couldn't
that
bring any of
time-
my friends because Mike was like, they're too scandalous. They can't come to the wedding. They can't come to the wedding. So I was like, I don't know nobody I could bring to the wedding.
I don't know anyone.
I was
not
like, hey, I know
scandal.
we just met. You think he could join me at the wedding? So we went to Vegas. We did that whole thing.
Which wedding was it, though?
To Kiki.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so she was our friend. My
Oh.
friend. Yeah, and is my friend. I haven't talked to her in years, but I consider her a friend. And yeah, it was such a hot mess, that whole thing, that wedding.
She fell on the dance floor.
Oh my God. And my arch enemy, old business partner was there.
Arch enemy.
Yeah, my
Okay.
old business partner was there. And I'm trying to be cool, dance on the dance floor. And I like swirl, slip, and I'm laying flat on the middle of the dance floor. And
wow.
everybody,
Yeah.
including her, is like,
Oh,
Oh my God.
But so this guy, very nice guy from the Chicago Sun-Times said, I'll help you out. But I was like, forget it. Defeated. Over.
It's done.
Yeah,
It's
I,
over, the night's
crawled
over.
back to my room.
But you made a new friend out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good time then.
Yeah.
In
But we
retrospect.
bonded.
So we know you. Our audience doesn't know who you are, and they have no idea why you're here. Y'all figure it out later on. Well, they already said PR, so you get the idea later on. But I know your story. I know your story, but I want people to hear it. Give me your background, your work background.
Okay.
Yeah, because
I was like, wait, do we have time for that tonight? Okay. So the work background is that I was at a company called Fubu, which we probably know by now, right?
Yes.
The reinvention.
Wait,
of
wait,
it
wait.
at this stage.
Fubu.
Yes.
She was at Fubu.
Okay, again,
Okay.
they have no
Yeah.
fucking clue.
Yeah.
Fubu is huge here.
Was
Yes.
Okay.
was
It
was
was.
was was. Fubu was a
Dave-
big brand.
Shout out
there.
Damon John. There you
Yes.
go. Okay. So I worked there as a PR manager, and that was really cool and really fun because we got to dress all the celebrities. All our friends were, publicists and agents and, hanger-oners. I'm not going to even lie. Or they worked as execs and things of that sort. So it was a really wild, really fun time and learned a lot. But I had a boss that I reported to at Fubu, a female boss, and she's a black woman who was a Russian ballerina before. Okay, so of course,
Okay.
my unstructured ass gets a Russian ballerina boss. Okay, so it'd be like 9:01. I'd be partying like 5:30 the night before, and she'd be like, "Oh, 9:01, Gwen. You know what that means?" I was like, "Oh God, I can't do this. Like, this is not going to be a thing for me." Being on time, So after a year and a half,
Punctuality.
I was cool with all the boys, and we would do fun stuff. But I was like, this is not my style, And we got an opportunity. Me and this other girl, she was a publicist for another brand called Avrex, if you guys know it. And we decided to jump ship because we had an opportunity with an artist named Bilal to do his album release party. And somebody told us, we'll give you $10,000 to do this party. And we were like, what? $10,000? We're like, that's it. We're going to be rich. This is amazing.
It's done.
Oh my gosh. So that was a long time ago. So that seemed like a lot to us. I was 25 years old, right? But so what ended up happening is that we screwed up so much. We spent most of the money on the party. I think we made off with a solid $1,000 at the end.
Wow.
But we had established our company because we had to get business cards and we had to have a name to put on the invite. But the party was the most poppin' party of all year. We had lines around the block waiting to get in. Everybody was like, that was our favorite, best party. So
Nice.
then we got more clients, and Carl Kanai, he was our first client. And after that, Coca-Cola came to us and MTV came to us and all these
The big boys
brands
started showing
because
up.
they were like, what happened at the time, it was like a Mad Men era in public relations, advertising and PR. So there was no young women in it. There was myself, my business partner, and there was a couple of other women like Lizzie Grubman and all young girls, maybe 6 that were running the PR game.
Across the whole
with
industry.
the pop culture.
Okay.
And it was funny because most of our clients were in the hip hop realm, and we loved it. It was so much fun. And we took on brands, we had no idea what was going on. Ice-T, the rapper,
Yes.
he launched a
Of
brand
course.
call Posse Pops, right?
Yes, I remember
and
that.
so, remember, so I launched that brand. So the client's like, hey, can you pitch, supermarket news? I'm like, oh, hell, that is it. Yep, that sounds great. I'll do that. Frozen foods today. We got that. Time Magazine got that.
Which
Stores,
city was
we got
this in,
that.
though?
New York.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
You never say no to New York.
No, raised in New York.
Exactly.
Not born in New York, but raised in New York. Our business was there in New York. And
That's where the whole industry
really
almost
dope
is, though,
run.
as
Yeah,
well.
that's where it was. So we'd work on project with Mitchell and Ness, and work with all the celebrities and dressing all the celebrities and hanging with them. At the time we represented Method Man and Redman and
Nice.
Tyrese and Kelly Osbourne, and always hung out with whether it's the Wu-Tang or just people from all the labels, and it was just such a good time. Now that I've left New York and live in Miami now, people are like, would you ever go back? I was like, I was there with the 2-Bay Pagers.
Exactly.
I was hanging out with Little Kim at the shark bar. I'm not going back to be in a room with a bunch of fools looking at their phones all night. Best time. So, we worked on projects
you were
with
there at
Diddy
the
and Mary J.
peak.
Blige, and it was great.
It was the
We were in
peak of hip
moment.
hop back then.
Yeah.
That's when everything was happening. And hip hop was in the news 24/7.
Yeah.
Fashion, you name it, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It just infiltrated everything in the 90s.
Yeah. And then from that, the liquor brands came to us, or the different beauty brands came to us, or people that wanted to get down with popular culture. we would do like Mary J. Blige's birthday party at Butter, and then a brand would be like, here's $50,000 to be down. I'm like, I'll take that. Thank you so much. So like, it was a good time. When you had access to celebrities at that point, you could get whatever you wanted, do whatever you wanted.
True.
It wasn't a party that you weren't at, so it was fun. It was sloppy. It was amazing. Good old time.
And then off to Miami.
Well, what happened is that I split from my ex-business partner in 2010. Dara and I met. I had a year or two. I was by myself. And then we met. She worked with me for a while. And then one day she was like, hey, loving bringing all this new business into your agency. I'm clearly killing it, which she was. And she was like, but I need my name on the door also.
Look at
That's a
Exactly.
move. That's a move.
And I remember I was
Exactly.
shopping in the supermarket. This was like a day before Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh, hell no. No, bitch, did it. No, she is not. I'm working hard my whole life talking about what piece of my company. So I was just like, but I could hear in her voice, she's small, but she's mighty.
Yeah.
And she's like a little gnat, so she won't stop either. So I was just like, oh man. I was like, I knew if I said no that she would leave. But she had brought like a lot of money into the company, and we really complimented each other on what we do. Like I'll do big picture, and she will be like, make sure everything's implemented.
She proved her worth.
processes. Yeah. So we were like, that's it. Let's do it. And
New
it's been a
chapter
great
begins.
ride ever since, for real.
How about you, Dara? How'd you start?
How did I start? So I started in the fashion business. I worked for Donna Karan, and then I worked for a company called Kiki de Montparnasse, which was a luxury lifestyle fashion brand. And there I was a buyer, I was sales, I did PR, and that'll lead me into a really funny story actually of PR. We worked with everyone from Lenny Kravitz, Lindsay Lohan. We did every celebrity's birthday party at that time in the mid 2000s. It was the celebrity brand. So again, like you said, I had access to everyone. But my passion had always been beauty on the side. And I was introduced to someone that said to me, start a blog. I started a blog and it kind of exploded overnight with just all of the girls that are really big now following me. I then was contacted by a woman who started Harper's Bazaar beauty division back in the day. And this is in New York City. And she said, have you ever thought about a YouTube channel? And I was like, oh no, like I'm not meant to be like in front of a screen. I was like, people will hate me. And she's like, no, just try it. So I went home that night and I was like, oh, well, her name was Carrie Diamond. And I was like, well, if Carrie told me to do it and she's so massive, I'm going to do it. I did it and it blew up. So I went to the chairman of the company that I worked for in fashion. I said, listen, Instagram didn't exist then. I think Twitter had just started and I saw all of the power that it had, what was happening. I'm like, okay, this is going to be it. Like, this is going to change the world. So I went to the chairman of the company and I said, hey, like, we need to start a social media account. He goes, absolutely not. He's a very well-known person in the US. He's married to a celebrity. And he goes, absolutely not. He goes, when Louis Vuitton is on social media, then come talk to me. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm leaving. And I went and I left and I started my own social media agency. At that point, I was doing beauty brands and I had a friend that worked in PR and she goes, this woman, my boss, needs someone to come in and help with beauty PR. She's crazy though. So like, I'm just telling you, she's nuts.
This was not me she's talking about.
Well, the funny part is she goes, she's nuts and she's Puerto Rican. I was like, what? And I was like, okay. So I go to meet Gwen, first of all, like fell in love with her the first minute I met her.
Oh, her outfit was like mini Barbie. It was amazing. I was like hired.
First of all,
That quick.
she wasn't Puerto Rican and she was crazy. So half of it was right.
Yes.
So then we met and that was it. I was consulting for her at the time. I was consulting for other PR firms and I had my social media agency. And I'll never forget what you said on that interview. She's like, I do need help with social media and like Twitter gives me a headache. So I can't really like use it. And I was like, okay, I'll come in. I'll help you with your clients on social media. And that's how it first started. But then I knew so many people in the fashion business and a lot of people in New York City that I was like, oh, bringing them all into the agency. And from there, that's when I was like, okay, I'm bringing so much business into you. I need to be a partner in this.
But what was interesting, she was bringing a different type of business.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is that one of the accounts that we got to work on early on was a brand called Naya. And Naya had a philanthropic DNA woven through the brand, like Tom's, And from that, we saw that the media really cared about brands that had, a do-good message woven through their brands. And people didn't want to hear, I have this brand. We don't really care about anybody, but hey, breast cancer awareness this month. Let's give you 10% off for a pink, with a pink ribbon. And after that, we felt we were so successful with this brand. Richard Branson tweeted out how great the campaign we did was.
We won an award.
Oh, amazing.
And then from there, we started working with more brands that had a social good or cause factor run through it.
Yeah.
And that really was a big defining moment for our agency because we started working with like people and planet over profit brands.
Yeah.
And what those brands do is, they allow you to educate yourself, right? So they give you the time to educate yourself, like futurist brands, right? So say it's like a CBD brand or a wellness brand. They're like, learn about it. We want you to do good. We care about you and we care about people. And we were like, oh, snap. You're going to pay me and you care about me? Like, this is not New York City
This is new. This is different.
Very new.
Yes.
And we hear like, you're into manifestation now. And actually.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you for catching on that.
And actually what happened is that once people actually our brand started caring about us on a level, we were like, we want to take more care of ourselves. So I joined the School of Practical Philosophy in New York. Dara swore I was joining a cult.
I was like, oh, she's going. I'm like, she's going into the cult. Bye. Like, she's never coming back.
We lost Gwen.
Yeah, literally.
But then she came in after because I couldn't stop talking about it. Like, and it had to do with not manifestation, but a higher way of thinking, right? And practicing other things. So that was also very like redefining for us in our business.
So it wasn't positive words. It was actual work.
It was practical philosophy. That's
Yeah.
what it says.
Well,
Did you not read the title on the building?
Yeah.
Trust me, this is not for them to hear.
Okay.
Okay.
Well-
there's a whole crowd that I want them to hear this.
Okay.
You want to know why I thought it wasn't a cult and it actually was something of value? Something you said before, how like being on time was not for you. Remember the word is my bond. So Gwen stopped being late and I was like, what's going on? And she said, no, my word is my bond. When I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm going to be on time. I'm like, oh, they're doing some magic in there. I need to join that.
It's working. It's
Well, when you were
working.
in high school, when you were younger, that was a thing. It'd be like, yo, word is bond,
Of course,
right?
yes.
But I never really understood. I understood what it meant, but no one really stuck to that. They would really just say it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I didn't understand that really those words had value and held something, you know?
But again, we were in a society that was very split. So you would hear that, but how many times do you see people practicing it?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because I was around the same time. We all like lived around each other somewhere somehow. We were all
Yeah.
grown up. And so when I came to Saudi, that's when I knew like how powerful your word is. They really take it to heart. If you say, yo, I'm going to be there and you don't show up, someone's going to be mad because you gave me your word. We have this thing here. It's called the Kalimat al-Jal, a man's word. If I tell you I'm going to do this and it's a man's word, it means Jesus, you get it done. I mean, I don't need to even think about it anymore.
It's done.
It's
literally done.
That's it. I'm just sitting at home and I know you're taking care of it and you're taking lead. If it's taking you 2 weeks, it's because you're still trying to find a solution. This is how we take it. So word is bond here. It's a big deal. Until this day, it still exists. If you tell someone, yo, I'm going to do this for you, that's it. It's locked. Except for him. Like,
I manifest.
yeah, he
Yeah,
manifests.
I manifest.
I will-
that's
I will-
what I
I'll
do.
manifest I'll be on time. How about that?
I'll manifest the answer for you. And maybe one day I'll come to you.
In 3 days.
So I met you, I think about a year and a half ago. It was the first time I met you, we were in Jeddah for F1. And then I got to know you guys better. You, Dave, and everybody else, thanks to Noor and Swizz and Good Intentions when we were at Alicia's. Now, I want to know, how was your first experience coming to Saudi? And how did you hear about Saudi?
Okay. So, all right. So I had gone through a breakup. I was living in New York, went through a breakup. I think I was just turned 40-ish.
Ish.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, let's just say I was living as a singleton in a fabulous new digs in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes.
And I get a call from a friend of a friend who says, hey, I know this girl. She's so amazing. She's from Saudi. She works in this big ad agency and she just does not have time to find an apartment. And I'm like, who doesn't have time to find an apartment? I feel a scam happening here, right?
Okay.
But she's like, no, she works till 11 o'clock at night every night and she just doesn't have any time and she's paying $1,000, whatever she said, a lot of money. And she was like, you know, she needs a place, a room, something for a month. And I was like, I'm too old for this. You know what I mean? But I was like, wait a second. She's like, please, she's so amazing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I was like, first of all, is she cute? And she was like, yeah. I was like, does she like hip hop? He goes, yes. I said, is she cool? He goes, yeah. I said, I'll talk to her. Right. I was like, I'm single, newly single. I need somebody that looks good in my apartment rolling with me. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're going to go out after work, you know? So it was Noor.
Yes.
And so
Shout out to Noor.
shout out to Noor.
You didn't tell me you were living on the streets. You didn't tell me you were begging in the streets. I thought you had a place
she
and
was
everything.
living in a very expensive per night hotel. At
Exactly.
The time.
Well, that's being on the streets if you're Arab.
So she comes over and I was like, if my dog likes you, you know, you're in, whatever. I made her some pizza from Trader Joe's. And
Taking care of her.
Taking care of her like you should. And my dog loved her. And then we were like, okay, let's do it. And the deal was 1 month, right? A year later, we're still living together, but we became so close and bonded. But, you know, it was very interesting for me when she said she's from Saudi Arabia. And I had never met a person from Saudi Arabia or like literally like never, I think, been in a room with anyone from there. I didn't even know anyone who knew anyone from Saudi Arabia because it was just very always taboo. But I was like, uh-oh, Princess Jasmine's coming to live with me. Arabian Nights, what's up? Let's get the rug. I'm excited. I'm
Get the
pumped.
rug.
I'm ready to
Yo,
go.
pull the rug out.
Rugs, I'm like the jewels. Like let's just pop it. I can't wait. I want to hear all about this because I, you know, as a storyteller since I was young, I always had a very like fantastical like thoughts and visuals of Arabia. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it was like
the visuals that came along with Aladdin and everything else.
Correct. Exactly. That was what I
Aladdin
thought.
did it, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I'm going to Saudi Arabia. We're gonna be best friends. So anyway, I did, and I am. But that was about 1.5 years, and then I ended up moving to Miami. She moved back to Saudi, and it was just because I had changed a time in my life. I just decided that was what I wanted to do. And of course, we still, you know, were friends. And she said, you have to come. And then we were going to come on vacation, but then COVID happened. So we couldn't. And I guess it was December of last year by the time I finally got here, because she said, listen, I'm working on this project. You know, I have good intentions. I want you on it. I need you on it. And I was like, I absolutely will be on it. And so the goal was to announce the launch of Good Intentions and also announce it in the US. And that was very interesting because we had to really craft the message properly so people would get it, understand. And so when I announced it in the US, you know, we did get some pushback from journalists at the beginning saying, you know, oh, well, we like Swiss and he's great, but, you know, the women's situation and how could you work there and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, well, from my experience and my knowledge from who I'm talking to, things have been changing. And I think that we should all give this a chance. The people that are telling me this are great people, you know, and really
the people from that country.
Right.
Yeah.
And so one journalist, though, he was very nice. I could tell he was very intellectual because he said, I really like this story, but I feel conflicted. I said, well, have you spoken to a Saudi woman? And he goes, no, I never have. I said, would you like to? He goes, you know, I would like to. I think that'd be great. So him and Noor get on the phone or a Zoom. They're 1.5 hours laughing, talking. And he said, wow, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Thank you so much for doing that. You've opened my eyes and I had no idea. And I was like, great. So, you know, Noor talked about her experience with Cash and Rocket and doing all these really cool things and the brands she's worked with and the Louvre and the Nikes and he just had no idea.
Yeah.
And I think there's
Thank
a
God
lot
it was
of...
Thank God it was Noor.
But like no one's telling that side of the story about things that are happening here, right? So I was like, wow, this is really cool that I get to do this. And I wanted to make sure it was right. So I'm so glad that I had Noor kind of guiding me too, to give me the right information and bring me around great people that could also provide me with cool, you know, information. So we got some great media about that. And then I was asked to come out here to be part of it. And, you know, we flew Emirates, went to Dubai, you know, we had the whole like beautiful treatment at the airport. And I was like, okay, this is what's up. I've been living all wrong. Like, what is going on
About
here?
time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how I need to be treated. When we got off the airplane, there was like, we got escorted out of like a little private back, you know? And I was like, wait a second, what's going on here? Like, it's like, we're trying to call Noor. I'm like, hey, is this normal? Like, this is what happens? And whatever. She's like, get in the car. We couldn't hear because of jumbo jets. So we get in the car. You know, in our private VIP room, I was like, okay, I'm never going back and living any other way besides this. You know, of course, we were at F1.
It's a little fast track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And fast track, we were at F1. And, you know, they did that whole beautiful project on the Red Sea.
Yeah.
You know, with the Falcon. And it was just really spectacular. But then we went to Hassan Jamal's house. And
Hassan Jamil.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Hassan Jamil.
Shout out. Sorry
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
Your sister's so beautiful.
okay.
Okay.
Your sister's so beautiful.
beautiful. Like the real Prince of Jasmine floating.
Yes.
You see how she floats?
Yes.
But so met so many amazing women there, and so many cool people like you guys, and just like all these really funny women. And I was like, oh my God, like everybody's so cool. Like this is like, how do we not know this? How do we like have been kept from this? So I came back, was bragging to everybody, was telling everybody how cool it is. And at first, people were like, that's nice, Gwen, you know? But they're like, that's nice, you know? But they know like I'm a wild card, right? They're like, okay. And then
They know that you take risks.
yeah. And then came back for the Alicia Keys project. And it was such a gift going to AlUla.
Lula.
I say that wrong. Sorry, guys.
That's okay, it's
AlUla,
okay.
trying to get it together. Never it's going to happen. And what like a magical place, obviously, that is. And I was like, I'm definitely going back. I feel very connected there, like my soul connected there.
It's a gorgeous place.
It's a grounding place, honestly. Like you really do feel connected to everything around you, like the
and it's
environment.
calm.
Yeah.
It's very calm. You get to enjoy, even just looking at a mountain.
Yeah.
It just gives you this different feeling, different vibe.
Well, there was no way I wasn't going because when Nora originally introduced it to me on YouTube, in my house, she showed us on YouTube. I nagged her pretty much every single day for almost like 7 months to like make sure I go there. I'm like, I have to go there. I have to go there. And so went there. And then, of course, everyone saw the photos and was like, wait a second.
What is this?
What is happening? You're like, you were there with Alicia and you were there with Swiss and you were with Nora and we like Nora. Wait, maybe this is something we should take notice of. You know, so then I came again for AlUla on Wheels and I'm back again for the Alicia thing. And it's just been one really cool like ride along so far.
That's the thing about Saudi. When we started this podcast, that was actually one of the reasons. Is because no one knows Saudis. And there's a lot of great podcasts in Arabic that can cover the job of explaining what Saudi is and what's happening. But there was none in English. And even if there was something in English, it's usually would be like basically interviews with other people. So you're just looking at someone's journey, but you're not looking at the actual people. So when we did this podcast, the number one thing was we have to make it such a normal thing that it doesn't look like this is huge production setup. No, it's just normal Saudis having conversation like every day was happening. And we focused on that because you would see people on doing interviews, right? But those are people there with a certain agenda, because they're there with some sort of incentive of why they want to be there, why they want to showcase themselves. But when you look at a bunch of people that live every day, just the news, talk about the local news, talk about a bunch of bullshit they went to, how they partied the last weekend, you rarely find that in Saudi. And you rarely find it in English. And what killed me the most, like, I don't know if you guys know the story, but this podcast, the idea came in 2013, but there was nowhere to put it out. Because there was no audience, there was nothing for it. So basically, we could be talking to the wind. So I just
Like you are.
kept that every day. so I kept that idea on hold until I came back to Saudi. I was in Australia at the time. And when I came to Saudi, I saw the change that Saudi is going through. Now, I've seen Saudi since 2001 when I moved back from the States. So I know the old Saudi and I see what's happening now. And we launched the podcast. And when we launched it was for that reason. Because I used to go on Twitter and I hate everyone going crazy on Saudi, but no one knows anything about Saudi.
Well, one of the things I actually talked about so much with you guys, because I couldn't believe you guys existed here. You guys are like the Breakfast Club in New York or like 187.
Yeah, true.
And I was
true.
like, you don't understand. These guys have podcasts exactly like it, guys. They're exactly like in New York.
Exactly. It's like it's relatable in so many ways. And if you don't come and experience Saudi and experience being around Saudis, you will never get the picture.
No, I've said your podcast name wrong for the past year, but
I
I've
know.
talked about you anyway.
I know.
Yes, okay.
We appreciate that.
Yes,
Gwen, we
I'm
do.
trying.
Yes.
But you know why she said it.
I know.
Right?
It's
You wanna
because of
sing it?
music.
No.
Rock
sing
the
it.
Casbah.
No,
Rock the Casbah.
I've been trained my whole life. See, this is the problem.
No, but I totally get that. And you've been a bigger ambassador to Saudi than I have, to be very honest. Like, people do not know this, but because we know you, we know how supportive you are what's happening here. And now you're officially bringing your PR company to Saudi.
Yes.
In the Middle East, actually. Not
Yes.
only Saudi.
Really exciting.
We look forward to it, to be honest. Can you tell us about that? Oh, first off, the
First
launch.
off, congratulations.
The whole,
Yeah.
tomorrow's the dinner, right?
Yes.
Yes, tomorrow's the dinner launch.
Okay, so that's when we say, okay.
All right, okay. Just want to say, put it out there. That, you know, we're doing a dinner, and nobody's invited. Let's
Thank
keep it
God.
that way.
Sorry.
But go ahead.
Big party.
Yes.
Some other time. So we decided, so after about a year and change working here, and working with Good Intentions. And then we had a recent project with the Craft Group where we built an eco lodge in Khaibar.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
cool.
Yes.
Very cool. I mean, that was interesting. And that was really crazy because they had to build an eco lodge in 3 weeks, which I now see as the Saudi way.
Yes.
And it's
Chop, chop.
And it should have been done yesterday.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So 24 hours a day. I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, working Sundays, Mondays, Fridays. And I was like almost crying in the shower. Like, I can't believe this. This is so tough. As your friends
Yeah.
probably know how hard.
Yeah.
But
As we know.
yes,
Yes.
but there was a joy in developing and producing something that like the rest of the world would see that was closed off or the world's never seen.
Yeah.
Like to be part of a moment in history. I feel like this is a moment in history
It
that's
is.
happening right now. And to be able to have like one tiny fingerprint on it is like a gift, you know? So we talk with Noor because at the end of the day, you know, we are American and we've done business a certain type of way. And like Dara says, you know, you're the dynamite and Nora's a sushi chef. She's fine with her delivery and her
Yeah.
thought process and romanticizing things when I'm kind of like, hey, so what's up?
Literally.
We gonna sign this contract, get the deals done? She's like, and let's go for tea and get to know about your family
Yes,
and, you know,
exactly.
send them a gift. And I'm like, oh, okay. Let me slow down
Literally,
and do
Gwen
that.
is the stick of dynamite, and Noor is like a sharpened knife that knows how to
Yes.
cut precisely. So together, it's great though.
Yeah. So then together, the three of us, basically what happened is that, you know, we were representing the projects. Now I said, I'm ready. I feel strong enough. The world really is. I know like the US is buzzing about Saudi right now for real. And obviously AlUla has been killing it with the gram, with all the influencers and celebrities too. But I mean, we'll go to restaurants and people will talk about it. And the funny thing is, which is honestly even kind of annoying, anywhere I go, whether it's like a dinner party, a luncheon, a breakfast, that's how they introduce me now. They'll be like, oh, you know, Gwen, she just got back from Saudi. Oh, she's going to Saudi. I'm like, can I talk about anything else? Anything else would be great. You know what I mean?
Everyone's so interested in it though. That's why it goes to show like what the conversation and how it's happening.
And you get to provide a very different perspective to most people. Like you've actually been here, you've met the people, you've done work here, like the reality from the fake media perceptions that have been propagated for so long.
But it's interesting also, like, to be a defender too, because everybody thinks they know everything, right?
Yeah.
So they'll say something so wrong, and you know, to be able to correct them, and I'll be like, I've been there 5 times now.
Exactly.
I correct you.
Exactly.
I know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
You correct them with evidence because here's the thing: the difference between a lot of people who come in, like especially journalists, a lot of journalists will fly into Saudi, right? But they'll never speak to the locals. They'll come to do the thing that they're supposed to do, and they'll bounce.
They won't have a real true connection.
Exactly. You know someone who's Saudi, and that person is introducing you not to only the business and the project, but the people, the culture. And that's very rare to find someone to actually teach you the culture. And that opens up a whole different door. When someone says something about Saudi, you have a different perception for what you were heard because you came here, you saw for yourself.
Well, a great thing that Noor did in bringing me here is introducing me, obviously, to all you good people. But, you know, so many of the people in the realm are like lawyers and creatives and really interesting, educated people that have that help me to have the clap back. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and they're well informed and they love Saudi Arabia and they're passionate about it. So I kind of can fill up with their passion and knowledge and then bring it back and deliver it.
That's this. We were
know?
talking about this before the podcast. The beautiful thing that Noor brings to this whole thing is her passion.
Yes,
Because she has
100%.
a love for Saudi and so passionate about seeing Saudi do better than any other country. And that is something that wasn't around for such a long time. Like we all loved Saudi, we all protected Saudi, but that's what we did. But none of us wanted to push Saudi forward. And now we have the leadership that wants to take the country forward super fast, and they're looking for all the people that can actually run as fast and help build. And they're very far and few, but as you said, like she'll stay awake for 24 hours a day
Oh, yeah.
just to get things done. And like,
Well, when they said she was working till 11 o'clock at night, I see now that she actually does do that.
yeah.
like,
I
till
mean,
like 3 o'clock in the morning.
But keep in mind also, like, give credit to Noor, like from everything from Amazon Alexa to GI, now to this, and
Oh, yeah.
all the unseen things that she does, right? She's always on top of things. Like she would call me out of the blue. Listen, I'm gonna give you an update for something that I never asked an update for. All right, it's just like, oh, let me tell you, this is what's happening. We're just finalizing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, I know, cool. Like, thank you. I guess I never really asked, but it's in her mind. She knows that, yo, I talked to this person about 1, 2, 3. I need to give them an update because we need to move forward fast. And,
Absolutely.
And that's something very important. And you guys got to go sit front row seat at seeing the best of Saudi.
So when she, obviously, you know, in being partners in good intentions, it was, you know, something that we talked about, and, you know, we're partners and we don't let anyone else into our business on a partner scale.
Of course.
So it's just because we know how hard we work and how good we deliver and what the business means to us. So we would never give anyone a partnership, and people have come to us for partnership, for stake in ownership, things like that. So we're like, absolutely not. But, you know, we came to Nora and we said, this is what we want to do. We can't do it without you. We don't want to do it without you because you provide something to us that we can never, that we're still learning, you know? And I was like, and I need you to put me in check sometimes, you know? And like, you know, and so.
And Nora's the right person for that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. And so she accepted to do this with us because I think she knows like our hearts are in the good place and how good, you know, and the work that we produce is good, you know, and quality.
I agree with that 100% because I know going behind like all of this. Like people are just getting to know you now. Our audience is beginning to know you now, but we've known you for a long time.
He's talking varsity jackets, leather pants.
Exactly. And so
Sneakers.
because of that, like I know that I trust you because I know that Noor trusts you. And I spend enough time with you to understand that, yo, this person really loves what they do. Not only really loves what
Passionate,
they do,
dedicated.
they're also great at what they do.
Yeah.
And you bring in your company here, you bring in this whole different idea to what we already have. Because PR in Saudi, it's great. There's a couple of great companies, but no one is speaking passionately. Everyone is giving you keywords. You know, what's the right words that can, you know, attract people's attention to the article or to the project. No one's actually telling you something with love and care. You know, there's very far and few people that will actually try to give you a story. A lot of people just give you a product.
Well, I think that it was easy to learn by example, like with good intentions and what they're about here.
True.
And how what their mission and plight is, so that I could only run alongside that, right? I'd have to be running alongside it because it was the right way.
True.
You know, and as I'm learning about all the talent here that never got the exposure and would never get the exposure in the States that it deserves, that, you know, it's interesting and it's like kind of cool to be able to be like, I can tell their story. I can do that for them. Whereas they would never be told.
I agree with you. This is how we met Jasmine Bagger. Because Jasmine, I know a bunch of journalists, but when I started reading Jasmine's pieces, it was way before we met her. And we met her, well, we started talking because of the podcast, but we used to follow her on Twitter before any of this happened.
Stalker.
Yeah, big time. Because Jasmine would never just write an article for the sake of writing a fucking article. Jasmine was giving you a story. That's why everybody asked to cover us for different newspapers, and we said no, and different publications. When she said, I was like, if you're gonna do it, and you do it on your own, and you write whatever the hell you want, and I just want your pure honesty. She's like, that's all I'm asking for. I was like, I don't want to be involved with the day-to-day of it. I don't care what paragraph comes first, comes last. And she just took care of it. And she wrote one of the best pieces that anyone wrote about us because she sees the story. She doesn't just see, okay, what do you want? Let me fill in the blank and just put it out there. Because you're going to find a lot of that here. There's a lot of people, self-claimed journalists that actually do not do and put in the work. Jasmine, like we talk at 3 a.m. sometimes easy. Where are you? Oh, I'm traveling to another city working on this article. And then like 10 minutes later, I'm on the plane. I'm going to do it. Like she's always on the move and she doesn't want to write a story. She wants to see the story for herself first. She wants to know that you care about the thing that you say you care about. And that's something that you guys shared. Noor shares, GI shares, all of us. This guy's a loser back here, so we're not going to talk about him. Him in his humid ass city. So, my bad.
But you know, when Dara came, for the first time in AlUla last year, and she hadn't been before. And then what was your experience? And then wanting to do the business
it's interesting
here?
what you said. Gwen's always like a wild card, right? So people would expect her to do what they deem crazy, right? I'm less of that person. So when I came over, I feel like the shock of people was very high. Mm-hmm. And then when I came back, and it was really Noor inviting me and getting to just meet people. I just wanted to see what was going on, what Gwen was talking about for the year before I got to come. And I just met so many amazing people. Honestly, that's what it was. That's what won me over. Plus like the mountains in AlUla, of course. But I met so many amazing women and so many amazing people, and it just blew my mind. And what I thought was wrong, you know, Gwen and I are really into women's empowerment and philanthropy for women. And something I had thought, which is very wrong, is I was like, we can go to Saudi and really help empower the women. When I met these women, I'm like, they don't need my help being empowered. Like, these women know what's up.
Exactly.
See,
And that's
that's having good eyesight.
But we didn't know.
And we
Exactly.
had no idea. What we're told is these poor women, they're just, it's like, no. And when I came, I was like, no, these women are badass. They kick ass here. Like, they don't need my help to be empowered. I could bring other things. I can help brand them. I can help tell their stories to the rest of the world. But like that part, they don't need us for. I mean, of course, there's groups of certain women that want help still in certain areas, but that's what blew my mind. And I was like, wow, okay, I was totally wrong. What else am I wrong about? Yeah.
So that just blew open the door for you to basically revisit all
and
of
then when I came,
your previous conceptions.
oh yeah, of course. And then when I came back, like I could not stop talking about it. People were like, wait, tell me more about this. And when I would post so much, the most feedback I got was from my Instagram account, because I would post so much about it. And I would get so many messages like, wow, tell me more. Like, I'm interested. And I
They
always
would ask
say, every day I'd get questions, and I still do. And then I'd have so much engagement about Saudi on these posts. I was like, okay, something's going on. And then, like we always say, Gwen and I got into this like Saudi Instagram algorithm for some reason. That everything,
that sounds fun.
every day it's
everything,
like Saudi.
all I get is Saudi news. So we send it to Noor every day. I'm like, do you know about this? Do you know about this? Like,
No, it's like been knowing about
No,
that.
I'm
You're
like-
not telling me
I
nothing
know.
new.
I feel sorry for you. No, I really apologize
Like
on their
every
behalf.
minute.
we like harass her every day. You're like, do you know about this?
But was
Have
it-
you heard?
Yeah.
Have you heard? I'm just like,
But actually,
yeah.
you know, coming here and realizing that, I don't want to say that we were lied to. I would say that it's like,
Well, there's a
I don't know what
narrative in
to
the
say,
media.
but
you were lied to.
told,
You were lied
you were
to.
told a very certain narrative to serve a certain agenda.
right, but
Exactly.
it made you almost have this rebellious nature against it. Like, screw this. Like, I'm going to tell what I see and what I want to see. So I don't care what you say. I'm going to tell you right now.
Because-
And
That's true. And it makes you want to do it more, though.
Yeah.
It's like you want to be like that.
No, now we have, I would say, about 50 great people that are impactors and influencers. And I don't mean like little stupid influencers, like,
Yeah.
but I mean like impactors that like do real things.
Like disruptors, basically.
Yeah,
Movers and
disruptors that
shakers
want
of the
to come here
world.
bad and they want us to guide them here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, slow down. Like, but they're ready.
Let's
you know,
have
they're
some
ready
tea.
to get on the plane.
Let's have some tea.
have some
Let's do what Noor is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's meet their families.
Unless Qatar Airlines wants to sponsor this trip right now.
No, but
First class.
nothing
Only
less. Nothing less, Gwen. What are you talking about?
Then Qatar, they will come for you. That's how I gotta love Qatar Airlines. I never seen anything like that. Like, hello, right?
Emirates.
cute-
Emirates, exactly.
Emirates is good, but
Emirates-
You
I'm
weren't on
sorry.
the other one, the
Yeah.
right one then.
oh, I wasn't
Yes.
the jumbo jet with the.
Yes,
You weren't on the right
exactly.
one. I was.
Yeah, you were
You
not.
didn't get,
I was-
you
I
didn't
was-
get
I
a
was-
shower,
Yes.
Gwen. You didn't get
Oh,
the
I
shower.
didn't get the shower.
Yes,
Yeah, so
the
maybe-
shower.
Yes. Yeah, you're not the
Your
18
own
age.
shower.
Emirates, if you'd like to sponsor disruptors and impactors.
Yes. Emirates Airlines, by the way, if you're coming from London to Saudi and you have business or first class, the lounge you sit in opens up straight to the jet.
We gotta fly through London next time.
So you don't even
Obviously.
need to run anywhere. Like you just leave the seat. You can have dinner and then the door opens up. They tell you
Real
whenever-
lazy
yeah,
status.
Whenever you're ready.
Perfect.
That's great for me.
It tells you
The
whenever you're
laziest
ready.
human on earth.
Once you get up and you turn to left, you're inside the jet.
I've been doing this all wrong. I called you for travel advice.
Hey man.
Let her book
I
it.
didn't book
Anything
it. It
for
was from
business or
Noor.
first class, just give me a call. Try them all.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
But yeah, coming here and
our wealth button.
coming here and being there, it's interesting because now, you know, a lot of brands, when they say, okay, so we want to hire you, everything seems very disinteresting to me now. Like that in the US to work with, because, you know, in the US, PR has been, you know, there since Mickey Mouse. Like with
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, like Disney really was the whole founding of PR. And every story's been told, every brand concept's been told, and people are very like, oh, I'm a publicist. Oh, I'm a this. And it kind of feels worn out. Where here, I'm like, there's a whole country. There's Neom, there's the Red Sea, there's this. Wow, wow, wow. There's just so much. I mean, I'm so annoying with driving with Nora. I'm like, wow, look at that restaurant and all the gold. Wow, what does that say? That, you know, so it's like, it feels like,
Well, that's
It's
another
different.
thing.
It's different. It's different.
That's
Yeah.
another thing. the quick progress that's going on here. I don't see that happening anywhere else in the world.
True.
So that is so interesting to me, like seeing NEOM and all of the developments that are happening. It's just so technologically advanced. I mean, all of the designs, it's so appealing.
And we're super annoying about Neom. We're like, Noor, oh my God, Noor. She's probably like, has a block on her Instagram
Anything
about
that says
Neom.
NEOM blocked.
That's the thing. See, for you guys, because you're seeing certain things that are happening or it's being said about Saudi, whatever, like of our projects and so on. But because we live here, we see what's happening in terms of investments, in terms of innovation on almost daily basis.
True.
There's always some sort of seminar that's happening or some sort of like foundation that's opening up. And there's always, like we just had this, what's the name? Was it called LEAP?
Leap Technology Conference.
Yeah.
Technology Conference.
It's a technology conference. And in that conference alone, there was over $9 billion in business investments from Oracle, Alibaba, Microsoft. And so even the big players all over the world, they're seeing, these guys are going to go whether we're there or not. So should we just stand back and just watch them go and come in too late? Or should we come early and help with the knowledge transfer to get their ideas into life?
And you said it, the fact that you guys are constantly like looking at NEOM and seeing all of the new things they're doing, you guys are getting inspired. That's one of the things that we are aiming to do. We, as people who live here, we've already been inspired and we're already there. We've already bought in. Now it's time for everybody else to kind of know what we're doing here is actually for real. We are not messing around. We're not kidding around.
But what's interesting, yes, that's all happening. But I feel there's always like this interesting, and I could just be saying this could be a complete false, but there's like an ode to the past or a nod that is, make sure you keep this here. Make sure that this line doesn't get crossed when it comes to talking about us, So when we did the project in Khaybar Khaybar, as I've been told, or like working with like RCU, like it is a very special way that you have to talk about these places and things you can say and can't say because they make sure that the heritage run through.
Yeah, we're very cultural.
And then I came here and I'm like, cradle of civilization.
We have a
time.
ministry called Ministry of Culture.
Yeah.
Just for that. Because no one knows how diverse Saudi is. By the way, everything that you've seen in Saudi, this is like maybe 5%.
Going into Tabuk.
Oh, that's just another 0.2%. There's so much in Saudi. Saudi is so diverse and it has so much to offer. If you go down south, it's a whole different thing for you. Everything, I'm talking about way of life, the weather. It rains in the summer down south. So everyone just thinks of, the desert, Riyadh, that's it.
Dunes.
Jeddah with this fucking humidity and like, Eastern Province, Aramco. Like, but when you come here and you see everything else, there's so much still untapped potential. And this is why we care about our culture, because we don't want to lose our identity when we move forward. That's very important to us as Arabs, as Muslims, and as Saudis.
And plus, we do have the heritage that does go back all those years ago. Lady, we're talking about Khaybar. We've
600 years?
600, 1,000 plus years of history in these different places across Saudi. So that is honestly something that's super important to hold on to because you need to know where you came from in order to kind of understand where you want to go.
So think about it. In the US, they're like, oh, represent this new lipstick brand.
Right.
And I'm like, working on a project from 600 BC, BC, AD.
BC, I think.
Okay. I'm like, sorry, sitting in a volcanic rock that hasn't been touched ever. Can't represent your lipstick. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah. It's
my
awesome.
dad's like, so what are you doing there? I'm like, just forget it.
Her dad still thinks she's a publisher. Publishing.
Yeah, that's right. I publish magazines. That's what I do, Dad.
That's the thing. There's a lot of meaningful work here. And there's things I'll talk to you about after the podcast. I can't say on the podcast. But there's things that are happening. And there's a project that's being done right now. And the focus of this project, not the focus, the most important thing was for the wording. They were like, no matter how you want to present this project, it has to represent us as us. And that direction was given not with, for you to have a couple of freedom to expand on the idea. No. This is what I want you to do. And this is how we're going forward. Because we cannot lose who we are. And at the same time, who we are makes us special. And the only problem, we never had the chance to show the world who we are. And this is the difference between Saudi back then and now. Now we're not only talking about us locally or the region, we're talking about the world here. We want to be everywhere. You can just see by the public investment fund, almost everything that you're going to buy is going to go back to Saudi. They're investing in every single little thing. Like, we don't only want to invest so we can get money back. No, we want to help people's technologies. We want to help our own technology. Everyone is talking about, what's happening with the oil and everything like that. At the same time, Saudi's been investing like crazy in renewable energies. But Saudi's not going to come out and say, hey, by the way, oh, look, we're doing this. No, they want to prove it. For example, if you look at Formula One, you can see Aramco is a main sponsor. But a lot of people don't understand that Aramco is not only a main sponsor, it's also doing research and development for Formula One.
They're providing sustainable fuel.
So no synthetic fuels. They're trying to make that sport live actually longer. And that technology will go back into cars and so on and so on and so on. So it's not about putting our money in Saudi and outside of Saudi. It's about also creating an impact.
And not just in Saudi, globally.
Exactly, globally. Because we know how powerful our country is. We know how smart the people here are. But the chance was never given. This is why if you talk to a lot of Saudis, especially like in our age, they will tell you the number one thing that pisses them off, that they see the bright future of Saudi for their kids and they're angry it's not for them. Like, we wish we would also have that. But we also know that we're building it for the next generation. But I always keep telling people, I was like, yes, we're the people who built it. We helped build that.
Like, I wish I was like an Instagram celebrity when I was younger. Like, if I had Instagram, I would have been like very famous. Like, but now everyone else can be famous, and I'm like too old for it now. So yeah, I get it.
No, see, I love your.
No, there's like grandmas of Instagram.
Oh, that's great! I'm right on time.
No, this is what I love about having you guys here. You're bringing something. When it comes to knowledge transfer, it's very, very important, and everyone knows here how to do something in a certain way. Our biggest problem was always consultants, because consultants do not care about what's happening in Saudi.
They don't understand the culture.
Well, I'll tell you what. So at the end of last year, we were in New York. We were doing something for Major League Baseball, and we were having a great trip. And our friend invited us to go to a dinner party. And what was this lady's name?
Gloria Starr. She was a UN ambassador to the Middle East a long time ago. She still is. She's in her 90s, but she'd been doing this since the 60s.
Whoa.
And so her house was filled with books and folders from like every
Middle Eastern country.
like
The coolest
country
thing.
war, pictures with Michael Jackson, pictures with every president, pictures with this, pictures in the Middle East, pictures with that. Insane. It was like out of a movie. And it was like a mansion in the sky, right? On like off of Park Avenue. It was like very like all
Old
these
school.
people from the UN and all these different people. And it was like, wow. And all these artifacts all over. And we walk in, and I guess my friend again told us, oh, they're working in Saudi or something, right? And she goes, the lady Gloria goes, oh, sit next to him. He's worked in Saudi. He's worked in Saudi. So we sit next to him. I'm like, again, okay, like, can I have a nut first? Can I have like a potato chip before I like start talking?
And he was
about
like
Saudi
an
Arabia?
older British guy.
Okay.
And so he starts talking, oh, you're there. And we're starting to talk excitedly about, oh, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I've been working there for years. We have my whole company, but like, you never tell anyone.
He said,
that.
don't tell anyone.
Just go in, you get the money, and that's what you do.
Yes, that's what it
And
used to
so
be.
we're talking a little bit, and I get up and walk away. And Dara comes over to me. She's like, well, why are you walking away? Like, he's still talking. Like,
I was
he's
like, you're being really rude.
And I'm like, I don't like that. That vibe isn't like for me.
That mentality.
But
Because
that's what it
feels
was.
gross.
That's what it was.
Now that I've been here and I like met the people, no, there's not like, I'm not saying there's not instances where maybe he, could feel how he could feel, but like, I don't want that to be my narrative, and I don't really want that narrative around me because that's not my feeling.
Well, you
know
said
what I
it
mean?
because they're all old school. Back then, that's what it used to be. Don't announce your company. Just come here, make your money, and go. But now even Saudi is telling you, if your head office is not here, we're not doing business.
Right.
Don't come send me people while your head office is in Dubai or anywhere else, and you just send me whoever's left over to get the work done. No, you have your main office here. You also give back to the GDP. You hire jobs. You hire people. So on, so on, so on, so on, so on. So even Saudi sees it as that, no, you're not going to come and take money and leave. No, you're going to make yourself known that you're here, and you're going to tell us why you're here also.
It's no longer an extractive relationship. It's a much more two-way street, sustainable type of cycle in which you enrich us and we enrich you. It goes both ways.
Well, I would just like to say on the hiring part, if there are any awesome women out there in communications and PR and want to get their foot in the door, be taught by some people who know what they're doing, we are very interested in having you.
We will tag Gwen.
Yes.
Okay. Do not send it to us.
Yeah.
Send
Adi
your
does not work for
resume.
Gwen.
Do
All
not.
Scout it out.
Adi does not work for Gwen. Shamsi might work for Gwen.
Adid will
Adi
provide
doesn't.
Gwen's information.
The
to
amount
all
of
them.
times that people reach out to me and I have to forward their messages to other people the whole time. When we did, we were talking about Sense. When we did, we covered his clothing brand, and our DMs just were packed with people saying, "Where can I buy?" I'm like, we tagged the man, and the whole time, like taking pictures in the Sense the whole day. Yo, these people want, these people want, these people want. So this is another moment. Thank you for that, Gwen. I appreciate you for giving me more work. I appreciate that. I said we would help each other, but it wasn't like this. But I automatically became a secretary for no fucking reason. Anyway,
It was that quick.
Meet my secretary.
Yeah.
I love it. I've always wanted one.
oh, thank you so much. Demotion. Well, anyway, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I think it's going to be an exciting time coming up. I think I'm very excited for you guys and everything you guys are going to bring. We were talking about all the brands, but the way that you guys cover everything from when it comes to artists to companies, that's something that's going to have a lot of value to a lot of people here, because that's something that we were missing in terms of knowledge transfer. Because you just said it like, yo, if there's someone wants to be hired, what you just said right now, without, I don't know if you know it or not, you just said, hey, we're willing to open the door and give you the knowledge for you to grow.
You just inspired a whole lot of people.
Exactly. Not a lot of people do that here. A lot of people come in, they want to get the work done, and they're going to leave. But you're actually passing down all the knowledge that you have to people that are here for them to also make themselves better. And that's going to impact a lot of places in the industry, which we hope. We hope you assholes get better, I swear to God.
Well, I will say,
Take this opportunity.
being here, I have learned for the best, because I have seen, to be honest, the way that Nor and Swiss do business, and they have been for the people.
Yes.
And to be honest, Swiss being who he is, and even Alicia being who they don't have to do the things that they're doing, and how purpose-driven they are as people. And then Nor just seems to have that run through her DNA. Like, there's not another way that we could come here and be. It just wouldn't feel right to us. And I know it wouldn't even like rock with them. They wouldn't.
That's
even
true.
want that
That's
either.
true.
So
That's true.
Yeah, it seems like transactional does not work here, and I feel like a lot
I mean,
of
it
people.
does,
Yeah,
but
no,
not
but
for us.
Not
people
ex- yeah,
come
exactly.
in
For us.
and
Yeah, that's true.
it's transactional, where that's not what we're trying to do.
Well, this is the same thing that got us close. When Noor found the podcast, then she came, she met us. It was supposed to be for like 20 minutes. She stayed here for like 4 hours.
3-4 hours.
Like 3-4 hours. She was here the whole time. And then we just kicked it like we know each other. And that's the thing, the same thing we saw in Noor and we saw in Swiss. The fact that it wasn't like, what could I get? It was, what could I do? That's what always the question was. How can I help? What could I do? And that spoke volumes for me. Because when we did the podcast, we always trash on companies and consultants that just want to do this bullshit. And now we're seeing people coming in and say, yo, what could I do? Or how can I do it? Or how do you feel if I do this? They're actually asking and caring because they want to bring out the best of themselves and the best of what they're trying to do. And I'm seriously, like, thank you guys for being here. And we appreciate every single one of you.
providing that.
And we look forward to tomorrow's amazing dinner.
yes,
Yes, I look
Really
forward
excited.
to that. I'm excited for that one also.
launch party next year, part
Yes.
2.
Yeah, next year's gonna be for the public. This year's gonna be just for us. If you're gonna be by the time you see this, we're gonna be a billionaire.
yeah.
It's over. We're gonna be a billionaire. We'll see you over there. By the time you see this,
Yeah, you could
Wait,
say
can
where
we
it
just
is.
talk about why I had to do it there really quick?
Oh,
Let's go.
God.
Okay,
No.
so here I am, right? And I see DJ Khaled's at Billionaire, right? And he's eating lettuce. No. Let me take this back. He's on an Instagram post eating lettuce, talking about the most amazing lettuce ever. And I said, Nor, where is that lettuce place? If this lettuce is this good, I can lose a few pounds. I want to go like a lettuce place like that.
Oh my God.
If lettuce is like that, you know.
Wait,
it can
the
be
best part
stupid. And
is
she goes to
Nor-
me, it's at someone's private house.
She lied.
Yeah, that's at someone's private house. I was like.
So
So
disappointed.
then we kept looking, and I saw a plate said billion. I said, "Why does it say billionaire on the plate? Nora? Why does it say billionaire?" I'm thinking she's like someone's private house. I'm like, did these people have it customized? That's so Saudi. I'm like, cool. And then I
Oh
found
my
out. I'm
God.
like, it's at a restaurant. I said it. To Hala, her friend. Shout out to Hala. We love her. And she goes, "Yeah, babe, that's at Billionaire. You
That
have
is
to go.
Hala.
It's
That's-
fabulous."
that's
I was
exactly how
like,
she said
Nor. I told you. Nor's like, no, go to Hala. So then when we decided where to do the party, Nor recommends some nice places. I was like, I feel like.
But the lettuce, Nor.
Yeah.
But the lettuce.
I was like-
But the lettuce isn't crispy.
No, I
She
was
was
like,
like, that's
feel
not the vibe.
I was like, I feel like
vibe.
billionaire. We need to rent some like, hot pink Ferraris and just come through like from Miami. We live in Miami, like we're New Yorkers. We got to come through. And Nora's like, slow down. Aston Martin Cherry Red, possibly. I was like,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
Okay, we're getting there.
fine. You know, I gotta like. And
Gotta
she's like,
bring
and
them
then
up.
we
Put
can
it
all wear
down for a
red.
second.
I'll give you
I'm
a
like,
tip.
okay,
In Saudi, the color black means royalty for us.
that's great. I have a whole closet of it.
Exactly.
I'm already prepared. Look
Okay,
at that.
so if it's anything with the black color car, you're good to go.
Okay.
At
So
the
let you
same
guys
time-
know how billionaire is.
Discreet.
I
At the
guess
same
pink
time,
is
the owners
out.
of billionaires are actually good friends of actually their family. I don't want to explain it, but they're also gonna watch this. So
Cool.
Sh-
Well, the
shout
cool
out to
thing
Noor
is
for not trying
I'll
to make
be
them go to
asking for
billionaire.
some
Shout
lettuce,
out
which
to
is
Noor.
not
Shout out.
on the menu. Okay.
The lettuce isn't
Just
on.
want the
The
lettuce.
lettuce isn't on our menu.
Fucking DJ Khaled, man. That's
I
it.
know. Guess who's gonna have some lettuce tomorrow, though?
The funny thing is, there's so many great things and great menu at Billionaire, but he just focused on the
She
fucking
only
lettuce.
wants the lettuce.
The lettuce better be good, or it's going down. Okay.
How good can lettuce be?
It better be the best.
There's
lettuce
one
I've
way to
had in
find
my
out,
life.
Dara. There's only one way to
I
find
mean,
out.
how good could it really be?
Tune in next week to find out if the lettuce was
We'll
worth it
let
or
you know.
not.
Okay. To get the lettuce update.
We'll give you the lettuce update on our Instagram story.
It'll be the most popular thing in Saudi after that. Hashtag lettuce a billionaire.
Funny enough, Billionaire is very hard to get reservations in. Yes.
Noor did it.
I think that, again, no, it's different. What'd you bribe them with? Season tickets? I don't know, something? All right. Are you giving away Swiss's Ferrari? Okay, something like that. Oh, he's not supposed to know?
Tickets
Okay,
to
good. All right.
AlUla on wheels. There you go. That's what they got.
Wait. We look forward to it. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. And we look forward to all the great work you guys are going to
Thank
do.
you for the insights. Thank you for the conversation. Thank you for the honesty.
And anything you guys need, I don't need to say it. This is your home too. So if anything you need from us, we're always here for you.
Thank
They
you.
just told the wrong people that. They don't
Yeah,
know how
they're
annoying
like,
we
well,
are.
actually, we need this.
Don't worry about that. We know
We're going to
you're-
ask him for 5 things as soon as we get done with this.
The second you ask me, I'm going to look at Noor and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to give you new tasks, Noor.
Good.
How about you take care
Hey,
of
your
1, 2,
word is
3
your
for us?
bond. Your word is your bond.
Exactly. It is. I'm gonna give you my word. I'm gonna give it to Noor. Don't worry about that. That's 100% coming. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We out.
Thank you.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.